whatever's in a particular window, and you can like overlay it with your webcam or with another window, so you can use it to make videos pretty quickly, or you can use it to stream.
Yeah, I still got to master PowerPoint. I'm like, yeah. I use a Mac, so I don't have to learn so much. But yeah, I really do need to get with it, though. I'm in an organization where we got to do presentations every once in a while, and I'm kind of still winging it by just showing one picture after another on a file.
Yeah. You know. If it works. It's
well,
you need, really.
I bring my own computer, so I know it works. So yeah, like everybody's like, yeah, you need to make a PowerPoint presentation. They got a saying in the military, "Death by PowerPoint."
Yeah, I heard that there's even in the British one, they were saying that there was too much like PowerPoint presentations. Basically, like everything was done through PowerPoint, and so it was really affecting the way that stuff was done. Basically, you know.
Yeah. It's changed stuff because like even when in your writing, like they used to have an introduction, body, and then conclusion. You know, it's like you when you're making a speech. Do you guys have Toastmasters over there? You ever heard of
that? There's this thing. I know there's a thing in called like toasters. You get like these people professional. It's called like toasting, and it's almost like a type of like music kind of thing. But like yeah, we have like, I don't know, you have like after dinner speakers, yeah, and like that sort of thing. Is that?
Yes, sort of it is. Yeah, it's not anything professional, but you do get a lot of professional types. But yeah, okay. So like normally, what you would, well, not normally, but like historically, what you would do is you would have an introduction. Okay, you would tell them what you're about to tell them, and then tell them what you just told them. So you're telling them the same stuff 3 different times, and hopefully it sticks, right? But the contemporary way of doing it is just get into it. Just tell them. And get out of there. And it kind of hurts the retention a little bit, because you're only telling them this stuff once. If that makes any sense.
I just noticed we're back on YouTube.
Oh, so yay.
No, I like that. I don't like hearing myself, though.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear both of you perfectly, but I'm hearing an echo of my voice.
That's irritating.
What I gotta do.
I hate those echoes.
I just gotta kill the headphones. There. No, I'm still hearing it. Must be on OBS. Talk, you guys. I want to see if your levels are good. Guys, say something to each other. Hello? You left me. I think that did it. Do you guys still hear me in there? Out there? Ah, good. Okay. Well, we'll get into something here. I just gotta see what the deal is. Are those guys gone? Are they still here? They stopped answering me. Are you guys there? Oh, I'm not lighting up. Oh, jeez. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
I was muted. I have 2 voices. See, I got one here in Discord for you guys. Then I have one in... I wonder if I mute my mic on OBS, I bet you that it would just carry this one. Let's see.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hey, I'm sorry. What was the English guy? What was your name? Brett?
Oh, Chris.
Chris. Chris. Okay, Chris. Got to remember that. Chris. Okay. All right. I'm just thinking you're Jesus. I'm just gonna remember that.
Well,
Chris. Okay.
oh yeah, we were kind of talking about. Well, maybe we weren't talking about flamenco, but Bob was bringing up there was a woman who was talking about 1,000 years of missing history, and I think Greg, you've mentioned flamenco before, and there's other people who talk about it, and Velikovsky talks, I think, about a bit of missing history.
Yes. Yes. That is very interesting. I remember when I first started watching that. It was good. I think the video series is called "When the Survivors Wake Up." It's really good. She kind of took off there for a bit. She's doing really good now. She's got probably well over 100,000 subscribers. When I found her, she just had like I don't know, 5 or 6,000. I caught her pretty early.
Oh wow.
New Earth. Yeah, she's good.
Oh yeah, newer Sylvia, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her channel.
That might is the lady that I heard of. Uh, Gosh, I can't remember. She had an accent of some sort though. I can't remember where she was from.
It's probably New Earth. She's from Romania.
Romania. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about like adding 1,000 years, right?
No. We're actually 1,000 years has been added to the timeline because the ones who usurped the kingships after the last cataclysm wanted to ruin the calendar that was current, and they brought in their own, and it made themselves look like they were more established. For it's always been like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the whole gist.
Yeah, I couldn't remember like what the deal was, like why they would do that. Yeah, that would be another thing about like having the animated thing about the Venus and Mars passing by, because some of the stuff happened like somewhere around the time of Jesus, Julius Caesar, and then it happened in somewhere around like 500 AD again. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, when they used to make the date, they put an I in front of it. They're supposed to stand for Jesus. I don't. That's a Romanian thing, but eventually the I got turned into a one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
she
really,
has a
we're
video on it. It's pretty good.
okay. I didn't see a video on her. I can't. I think I saw it on Richard Hall.
I have a playlist. In my playlist, it's all about New Earth and when the survivors wake up. I got every episode in there. It's really good.
Hmm.
I've seen them all.
Hang on a second. Shit.
Yeah. Last time we had 50 something. We're having a low turnout, but still, hey, it's okay. I'm enjoying myself.
How do I put this on mute? Hang on.
Your microphone?
Yeah, I got to use the restroom real quick, and I'm not trying to entertain everybody
Okay,
with a
man, that's cool. Yeah.
bunch of water noises there.
Just put it on mute. You can do it and just click your microphone icon at the bottom of Discord. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going mute. Here, hang on.
So, Cryptonesia.
You can call me Chris.
Ah, okay.
I'm on the Electric View Skype sometimes. And like, man, you should join in on that if you're around tomorrow or any Sunday. I'm sure Rick says that to you all the time.
Yeah, they've got a lot of guys there, and a lot of hungry mouths to feed. It's a good show.
Yeah.
You know.
I just hang in there, and like usually if I have something to say, someone else will say it within a few minutes of me thinking about it, and so yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, I think it was flamenco. It kind of blew my mind, some of that, and I was speaking to, I think it was a theologian after I found out about it, and I was proposing this idea. I might be wrong. Is it flamenco says maybe that some of the Old Testament was sort of put together after the New Testament? It's a wild idea.
Yes, I've read some of his stuff. I've got a couple.
And
yeah, you're right.
yeah, when I was asking this theologian about it, he immediately said this thing about, oh yeah, but so much of the Old Testament perfectly predicts the New Testament. And then he sort of stopped and he was like, oh yeah, because that, of course, that makes sense if it was written afterwards.
Exactly.
We may never know.
Well, that's true. Let me see. I thought I had a couple of things here I wanted to read. It's pretty good too. All right, check this out. Harmony is a state recognized by great philosophers as the immediate prerequisite of beauty. A compound is termed beautiful only when its parts are in harmonious combination. The world is called beautiful and its creator is designated the good, because good performance must act in conformity with its own nature. Or good must act in conformity with its own nature. And good acting according to its own nature is harmony, because the good which it accomplishes is harmonious with the good which it is, beauty. Therefore, is harmony manifesting its own intrinsic nature in the world of form. The universe is made up of successive gradations of good. These gradations ascending from matter, which is the least degree of good, to spirit, which is the greatest degree of good, in man. His superior nature is the summum bonum. It therefore follows that his highest nature most readily cognizes good, because the good external to him in the world is in harmonic ratio with the good present in his soul. What man terms evil is therefore, in common with matter, merely the last degree of its own opposite. The least degree of good presupposes likewise the least degree of harmony and beauty. Thus, deformity, evil, is really the least harmonious combination of elements naturally harmonic as individual units. Deformity is unnatural, for the sum of all things being the good. It is natural that all things should partake of the good and be arranged in combinations that are harmonious. Harmony is the manifesting expression of the will of the eternal good. You know who wrote that?
No, who?
Manly P. Hall.
No, the ancient Greek.
Oh, Pythagoras?
Yes.
No.
It's the
Really?
Pythagorean theory or something like that. Yeah. The theory of good or whatever. It's got a name, but I can't recall it offhand.
It reminds me of kind of Aristotle or Plato. I can't remember. They both go on about like trying to define good quite a bit.
Yeah.
And beauty, you know.
Yes. When I hear something that I really like, it touches me in some way, or I write it down. I always think about sharing it. Anything that's enlightening.
Like what?
That was a great Faraday quote that you had in the video before about the relationship between electricity and gravity. It's very, very compelling. Like
Yes.
I had to.
Which one was that?
It was. I've got a note of it. It's this one. You say, I have been arranging certain experiments in reference to the notion that gravity itself may be practically and directly related by experiment to the other powers of matter, and this morning proceeded to make them. He said, yeah, it's something about. Or maybe that's not the best bit, but he's talking about hitherto unchangeable character is the force I'm trying to deal with, and how large may be the new domain of knowledge that may be opened up to the mind of man.
Oh man, that sounds so familiar, but I just can't place it right now.
You kind of it's a part. Maybe it's not that bit. You basically read it out on that because I guess the video that came out earlier today.
Oh, it was on the video today?
Yeah. Did you do 2 videos today? Is this like the 3rd one?
No, this is the live stream. I did the one video on electric gravity and science in for a Big Bang. Okay, I'll have to watch it again.
It's in the electric gravity somewhere about he was thinking about doing an experiment to Faraday. Find the
yes.
other.
Okay, I remember now.
Like an experiment to show the connection between gravity and electricity.
He was certain that there was a connection, but for some reason he just stopped.
What year was that?
Back in the 1830s or 1850s, I think. He discovered his big discovery in 1831, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. So somewhere like that. And he did it by messing around with a voltaic battery. You know why they call it a battery? Because it has a battery of cells, and the cells are what give off the electricity. The more you wrap a wire around itself, you double it. So if you wrap a wire once, that might be 100, 100 volts. If you wrap it twice, it's 200. Well, they do that with batteries. They have a battery of cells. I never knew that until just like last year, that's what it meant.
Huh.
A battery as in an artillery battery.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So why would he just stop like that?
What's that?
Wait, why would he just stop like that? What happened?
I really don't know. I know that he was talking to some astronomer, and they said some stuff to each other like, we stand on the precipice of a giant change in science, and then it just went away.
Huh.
Yeah. He was actually approached to have something to do with some skullduggery, too, but he refused. It's right there
Yeah.
on Wikipedia. I'm like you. I like some things, little kernels or nuggets of knowledge. Like Wall made a statement in that video, or the video before. He said the thermonuclear assumption was never proven. And as soon as he said that, it clicked in my mind like, oh, okay. So the whole time they just assumed stars did that. Because a nuclear explosion reminded them of the sun. The thermonuclear assumption. But they never bothered proving it.
Directly before that, they said that the sun was made of Welsh coal because it was the hottest coal. And then, as soon as they discovered this other thing, they said, oh, now it's this. It's before that you thought it was coal. What are the chances you're going to get your next guess is going to be right?
All right.
Yeah. Well, my guess is the economy and the military, use top secret, black ops, what do you want to call it. I heard a story say that if the military found out the world was round, they wouldn't tell anybody so they could attack from the rear. It's probably true. They're just going to keep it from us until, something else comes along. Perhaps. We got a live bunch tonight, folks. Nobody has anything to say? Are you guys on out or?
There's quite a bit of chat in the YouTube, I guess, or
Oh yeah, well maybe I should read that.
It's Greg's
falling.
was talking about shrooms.
Really? What's that?
I don't know.
I must have shrooms in my coffee. Yeah, well, I have a tendency to ramble. I can't take it either, but I don't know how to get rid of it. If I click the wrong button, I might end up with nothing. Alright, I'll try one more time.
You just cut out.
No, I didn't.
Okay. I can hear you. Yes. Yes.
Cool. That's
Yes.
Okay, well, there we go. I gotta get a level in there. I think the reverb is gone. Should be. Beautiful. You never know what you're gonna do if you don't try. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
yeah.
All right.
I hope I'm not too loud. It sounds like someone's saying that.
Do you think people will accept the cure that could take us into the newest dawn if it was just so simple and raw? Probably not.
How many people are on the chat?
16. 14 watching.
All good. Fits with 3 a.m. just fine. That plasma bolt off the sun a couple of months back was proof of current. I didn't catch that. I'll have to check that out. Did you guys hear about something? This is kind of off the wall. It's kind of crazy, but I just happened to catch it. There's a new website that you can join. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's small name. I just joined them. I can't remember, but they got videos where you click what you like, and then you start getting these this feed. And I just happened to see the one because I clicked space, and I clicked technology, and of course aliens. So I got to know everything that's going on. So it said that ships the size of the Earth were going into the sun and using it as a Stargate. Have you ever heard anything like that?
No.
It's pretty crazy, but I mean, this guy, his name is Hassan. He's a physicist, it says, at a major college, and he's showing these two big dots just going right inside the sun, and then after they go in, it wasn't comets either because it didn't have a tail. If I find the video, I'll have to show it. I'll have to like link it. It's just crazy. And you know who's reporting it? William Shatner on that show he's on.
I'm sorry, I
Is
don't
that
watch
show-
TV. What?
I don't
show
watch it
is
either. I
doing?
just happened to catch it. It's what William Shatner. He's got a show called "Ain't That Weird" or something. I don't know. It's
Is
just
this current or
yeah. It shows them just bang bang right into the sun. You know. I mean, if they really
Okay.
did exist, they'd be their ship's as big as the Earth. So it's pretty crazy. I don't know what it could be. Maybe it's planetoids or something. But you see them, they're just two white dots. Soho captures it. It's
I
crazy.
thought that there was this idea of plasmoids maybe coming in and out of the sun, right?
Well, that might be. You know, that might be what they are. It's got to be something.
they were definitely going in, not coming out?
They were going in. They went boom, boom, right in from the bottom, and then the sun spit out a big what do you call it? CME.
Coronal mass ejection?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to find it. Talk while you go ahead and talk to each other while I look for it.
So how would you use the sun as a Stargate?
I don't know. The
Follow
the Mayans have some plaque that they found.
Well, if the energy for the whole solar system is mainly going through the sun, it kind of makes sense that would be the main channel to other places would be
Mm-hmm.
the polar currents, I guess, coming into the whole solar system at the point of the sun mainly. But the heliosphere, you know, extends out beyond all planets, right? So we're kind of all inside the sun in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. So we might see a Earth-sized ship shoot out the North Pole of the sun.
I know it
soon?
sounds crazy,
no.
doesn't it? I'll just put the video. You watch it and you make up your own mind. It's pretty crazy. I mean, they have to be something. There's a new website. I just joined it for kicks. I'll get the
Your
name
cut-
in a second.
Okay. Sounded like you were cutting in and out again.
I probably didn't have my finger on the button
Oh.
long enough.
So you're putting that as a link on the YouTube event that we're currently doing?
Well, not for just for you. I don't want to get in trouble with
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah. But I'll put the link so other folks can go to it.
Okay.
I just have to find that dumb website. I forgot the name of it. I'm looking at my history right now. It's here somewhere. I found it.
Okay.
All right, I'll get it to you. 1 second.
Objects. I couldn't believe my eyes. They were immense. I mean, they only look like little dots on the data, but a little dot beside the sun means that the object is almost the size of the Earth.
I put the link
Planet-sized
in my
objects
general
entering the
chat.
sun.
It's
Had
right there.
Nassim found something
Hang
extraordinary
on.
that even NASA had missed? He thinks there's only one explanation.
I believe these objects may be intergalactic ships from advanced civilization. They appear to be under
I also
intelligent
put the link in the
control.
description
They
of the
don't
video.
appear to
Okay.
act in a natural way that you would expect from, cosmological objects like comets and meteorites and so
Yeah.
on.
Could this explain the sun's odd behavior?
I don't know. I'm
Or
fairly new to
changes in its
this.
sunspot and solar
Discord.
flare activity being caused?
Me too. Woo. I almost
David
shut the thing
Beamer?
off. No, the physicist is named Hassan. I don't know. I was just it was interesting. That's why I brought it up. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it
what do
says
you?
Earth-sized UFOs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
David Beamer.
Oh, the YouTuber?
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking about.
That's-
Yeah.
Oh shoot! How do you get back?
Oh, it is Nassim Harriman.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
I can't even remember. He's been around for a while. He's got this
Yeah,
whole other
Harriman. Yeah. It's just.
type of physics that he.
Yeah, I don't know
Trying.
much about his science. I just happened to catch that video. It caught my eye. I like wild and crazy.
Are you guys familiar with a guy named Robert Zephyr?
No.
He's-
No.
He's got like a bunch of. He's an archaeologist, and he looks into a lot of different weird stuff. He's got a. He used to have another channel. I won't go into it since we're on the air, but his other one that he has that's a little. Okay, so he's got Robert Zephyr, which is pretty. It's out there, but it's pretty tame. And then he's got one called Atlantean Gardens, and my impression is that the more out there stuff is on that one.
Oh, I've read Atlantean Gardens many times.
Okay. Oh, you've read it? It's a
I've
a
read
website?
stories. Yeah, that's a website.
Oh, okay. Is it run by Robert Zephyr?
Oh, I know who he is. Yeah. He's anthropologist or archaeologist
Yes.
or whatever. Yeah. He's got some
Yeah,
good
anthropologist.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of Atlantis stuff.
But he's, he isn't taking a look at the cosmology, and that's one thing that hurts him because if you get your cosmology wrong, everything else is just going to follow.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it.
I don't know if he went into pyramids or not. Andrew Johnson's got some interesting stuff on pyramids.
I just interviewed him. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to do another one with him.
Did you talk about the pyramids? I only caught part of that.
Well, no, we didn't. We mostly talked about 9/11 and the secret space
Okay.
program. I didn't pick the topics. I let Andrew do that. I
Okay.
figured the second time I'd be able to ask him what I wanted. Actually,
Okay.
I thought to get around to it that time, but I ran out of time before I knew it. 2 hours went by. It was almost like it was 15 minutes to me.
Yeah. Oh, you can spend 2 hours on 9/11 easily.
Yeah, and I've never really been any one who has dug into it, like every other people have.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just, I just didn't have time. I was into so many other things.
Right. I understand.
There's definitely something fishy going on there. I just don't, I don't have enough know-how.
Yeah, there's an organization called Pilots for 9/11 Truth.
Yes, I've heard
And
of them. Yeah.
yeah, just they got a bunch of people like just not even speculating. Like you can talk to some 757, 767 pilots, and what they're saying the flight data recorder recorded is impossible. It's like that
Yeah.
plane will not do what they said it did.
Yeah, it just doesn't add up, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, what was I've always been more into the JFK assassination, but I've researched that the last. I mean, I know just about everything about it. You know, I just kind of got over researched on it. You know,
I
that's
heard
why.
they just released a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much known now what happened.
Um, what details or just
Oh
the
yeah,
idea
oh
that the
yeah,
Warren
details.
Commission lied? No, I mean like when you say like if
Oh
you
yeah.
ask most people, did it go down the way the Warren Commission said? Most people will probably say no. I would imagine.
Well, there's two guys that I'll recommend. If you want to know about the medical cover up and the ambush, Doug Horn is a guy you want to listen to. If you want to know the nuts and bolts of all of the idiosyncrasies, you'll want to see Danny Sheehan. He goes right back to World War II and goes right up to it.
I think I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's an attorney.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got some. It's like a class that he gives. It's the Kennedy assassination and the I don't know, the people who run the world, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Have
he
Have
he
you heard
should know.
uh, Have you heard about Lee Oswald's brother? Have you seen that one?
I've heard something about it, but I don't really, I've heard taken so much in, it's hard to remember it all.
Yeah, I don't know, and I haven't looked at primary sources, so I've just seen videos here and there or whatever. But yeah, the idea on that is that there was a guy. Gosh, how the heck? They may or may not have been MK Ultra projects if the program went back that long. But point being, like these guys were groomed. There was a Lee Oswald and there was a Harvey Oswald, and
Yes, yes.
and yeah, they were both in the Marines. Uh, they paralleled each other, and they weren't in like close contact. But I think Lee Oswald's wife or girlfriend, I guess it would have been a wife to have any legal standing, but like wanted the body dug up, and turned out that the head was like decapitated, and it was
Yep.
Harvey's body on Lee's head or something weird.
Yeah, they worked with doubles all the time. That was a funky thing they pulled off again with Russia, and then there were two of them. It was Harvey and Lee, and Harvey was the patsy, and Lee was the gung ho Marine that was playing him. Yeah, it was the whole thing, man. It was just crazy. It doesn't
Okay,
matter
so
what.
Harvey
But
was the guy that got shot.
that's what I understand. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Lee was the white T-shirt, and Harvey was the brown long sleeve shirt. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. I'll have to relook into that.
Yeah, all you got to do is search the two Oswalds, or you can go to my playlist, uh, JFK Truth.
Okay.
Every good video on the assassination is in there, about 50 of them.
Okay.
It's really good. So what's going on, Chris? You falling out on us?
Well, I didn't know that much about, because I'm English.
Yeah,
Don't know
yeah,
that much about the Kennedy thing, and it was slightly before my time.
yeah,
But
yeah. I was
it's
5 when it happened.
Yeah, I was not born.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up, man. Pretty messed up because he he was for telling the people, being honest. He wanted dissension. He welcomed it. He said, "We got to be on our toes, and it's up to you to keep us there." He was, and he knew the CIA. He even had a writer write, "If there's an attempt at a coup, it will come from within the CIA." He gave that guy an idea to write a book. He wrote the book, and it became a movie called 7 Days in August, or 7 Days in May, and it was due to be released right after JFK was killed, but they held it back for I don't know, 8 months or something like that. It came out, and it was the book was a #1 bestseller, and the movie was a hit. It was made in 63, 64. Kirk Douglas. It was supposed to be a pretty good movie. I've never seen it.
No.
But that was then, and Vietnam was big, and the military really wanted to have that war. And, it just happened the way it did, And what can you do? You just got to learn and move on. Try to bring more love into the world,
Yeah, but obviously, with 9/11 and Judy Wood's book,
Yeah. Where have the towers gone?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's, what do you think of Coral Castle? Because I think she has a chapter about that in there.
Yeah, that was a guy. His name was
Leeds Scallon.
Yeah, Leeds Scallon, and he got dumped by his girlfriend, who called Sweet 16, and she just basically said, "You don't make enough money for me. You wouldn't make a good husband." He was brokenhearted, and he went into his own little shell, and started building that. And he claimed that he had the secret of the Egyptians. I don't know a lot about it. I remember seeing it on something on like In Search Of when I was a kid. But then I got back to it later. Now he's got some clues there, but I don't know if anyone's ever put it together. He had to know something. Okay, I mean, how could he move that shit around by himself? That's just staggers the mind.
It's a pretty weird story. I mean, he said that he was waiting for the president to come and meet him, and if that happened, that he would have explained how he did it.
Is that right? I never heard that story.
I think so.
Really?
But no one ever came.
What year was this?
Ooh,
Yeah. In the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
And he first he made something else before he did the Coral Castle. I can't remember what it was. I just saw something not long ago, but it slipped my mind now. I've seen so many things, and it wasn't that important. But he went to Florida because he had tuberculosis or something, and the better weather was better for his lungs. And that's when he built the Coral Castle. I mean, he moved these big, gigantic corals around. Nobody knows how he did it.
Kind of wrote a book called Magnetic Currents, but which only seems to have come out in 1980. And one of the things I like about his book, if you ever see it, he leaves every other page blank, because he said we don't understand how magnetism works, so the blank pages were left for the reader to make their own notes.
Really?
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure. I think, yeah, that's the story. It was a few years ago. I looked it up, but it's it's nice that I always, when people say that admit that we don't understand about electricity and magnetism, I always think, well, these are the people that are making sense to me. Because if someone says they know how it works, it doesn't add up.
Electricity has to come from somewhere. It's just when you think about it. I mean, where is the source? Or does ether naturally create electricity? I mean, something's going. I mean, it has to be It has to be coming from somewhere.
There's charge, charge everywhere. I don't really, but seems to be everywhere.
Yes.
You must have seen AP David's talks, Greg, on the Thunderbolts Project channel.
I have not. No.
Oh,
Who is?
I mean, he's he's I only know him from that. He's spoken there 3 different years, and
Okay.
he's a classical scholar, so he really knows his Greek. He's independently, I think he did work about Homer that's really interesting. He's talking about the Odyssey being something that had like a meter to it. It had a dance that went along with it and a rhythm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do tell.
Because it has it has repetition in it, like musical repetition, which in a way we don't have so much now. There's a whole theory around it, I think, to do with that maybe initially stories were more like songs, and we have an idea now where you just tell a story. But really, if you're singing a story, it's much more likely that that's going to be transmitted without any errors.
Yes. Yes.
So that probably, he's just amazing, AP David. I could go on. Well, he talks about Faraday and Newton and gravity and charge and electricity, and he's just he's he's just a really smart guy. I really recommend checking those out.
What's his name again?
I can send you a link to the
Sure.
Wikipedia page I did on him. David, AP David.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, there was. It's amazing Thunderbolts. You think, or I think, that I've probably seen most of them, and then I'll find a video that I haven't seen, and it just completely blows my mind.
Oh, yeah, that happens to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Coral Castle really, and even the other guy Judy Wood mentions is the Hutchinson effect. It's just it's a lot of stuff that we don't really know exactly.
Right, right, yes. Oh, I found the name of that website. It's mixed, mix.com. You sign up, it's free. You get a profile, you have people follow you, you follow them, and it just has whatever your interests are, you'll get those kind of videos or articles.
Is that from YouTube? It's sending you those videos and stuff.
Most of them are on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Cool.
just
That's cool. It's a good way to find new videos.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I have a wide range of things clicked. I mean, I got food and health, space, technology, history, science, of course. And I love the recipes here, man. They're just awesome.
Cool.
For cooking healthy and lean. Don't fall asleep, fellas.
I'm trying to think of like what's on my playlist. If I would have known I was doing this, I would have had a
It's okay.
bunch of notes or something.
That's what I like to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on my phone right now, so I can't get into my YouTube and look up my playlist and see what I played. I can't think of anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it was kind of an impromptu thing for me. I didn't know I was
It's
going to
okay,
be
man. It's just
talking to you.
no expectations here. Just
Yeah.
mellow.
No, when it said like come chat on the Discord, I thought like we were going to be like, just like chat on Discord. I didn't know it was going to be like verbal.
Yeah, I get you. I'm looking for stuff. I'm cruising around, looking for interesting things. In the meantime, if I don't have much to say, I'd rather not say
Oh,
anything than something stupid.
yeah, right. Um, okay, so this isn't like too stupid, but like you guys are talking about okay, so like the old man that's got the weight, and then they put a drill on there and it spins, and he's able to like, you know,
Yes,
wave it around. Okay, so like if that weighed 50 pounds or whatever it is, he wouldn't be able to do that.
it's procession theory or something like that.
Is
Just
it?
got done
Okay.
doing something on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on
I
the
missed it.
first live stream. Yeah.
Oh man, missed it. Okay. Oh well, what do you know about it then? Has anybody ever tried it in a vacuum chamber?
No, Ted was saying he'd like to see somebody try it standing on a scale. But yeah,
Oh, the spinning. Yeah, yeah, for sure on that. But they okay. So like, you ever seen anybody they spin a basketball off a cliff and then it goes, zzz, different ways.
yeah,
Okay, so supposedly that's from the air getting swished around the ball, right?
yeah.
Okay, well, you can also do the same thing with an aircraft. Just have this big, huge ball. It's like 2 stories tall, and then have your cockpit down below, and then have the thing spin, and it'll levitate.
Oh,
But it's
really?
not very, yeah, it's not very stable. I'd have to find pictures, but like if you can imagine a ball, like a floating balloon, and then try to control that, you're going to be at the mercy of the breezes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't get like, okay, if you spin it forward, I don't know if they spin it forward or spin it backwards, but I don't see why it would produce lift, like going away from the center of Earth
Right.
because you're spinning it one way or the other. Does that make any sense? I'm sure
Sure.
there's a better
Yeah.
way to put it. But
Yeah, I would
but yeah,
think
I mean,
that they would spin it counterclockwise. In the northern hemisphere, a top will not spin clockwise. It'll just fall. It has to be counterclockwise. It's like the toilets. In the northern hemisphere, they flush counterclockwise.
a,
In the southern hemisphere, they flush clockwise.
a top will not spin counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere.
It won't spin clockwise. Right. Try to get a top to spin clockwise. It just
Huh.
falls down.
What about gyroscopes?
That I don't know. I would imagine that they spin better. They work better when they're spinning counterclockwise. That's just my guess.
Huh. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, they got a guy that he made one of those sort of things out of 2 Kentucky Fried Chicken buckets.
What did he make?
He made it. He's into remote control airplanes, right? He'll sit there and like just on the fly fabricate something out of styrofoam and fly it, right? And
Yeah.
he got a couple of Kentucky Fried Chicken buckets, which for people that aren't familiar with Kentucky Fried Chicken, they're, I don't know, how would you describe it? They're probably like a foot tall, maybe a foot across, maybe kind of vaguely cone shaped, like the bottom half of a cone. Okay, and he took 2 of those, like stuck a stick on the smaller part of the bottom of a cone, and I can't remember whether he spun them top towards the front of the craft or top towards the back of the craft, but whichever way, it flew, or at least it was like levitating enough to have the propeller, which was providing forward thrust to keep the thing in the air. So, so yeah, I don't know whether that like causes the thing to. I'm just not buying that it's air. I'm not saying that I know what I'm talking about because like I haven't done any experiments on it, but it just didn't seem too intuitive to me that the thing would catch enough air. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And like, why would it work? Okay, so like if you're sitting there, like you spin the top towards the front of the aircraft or the back, like why would it produce lift one way or the other? Does that make sense?
Right, but gyroscopes, mainstream science, they avoid them like the plague. And Wall says something about them
Yeah,
that
Eric
they tie
Laithwaite.
themselves to the universe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you must have watched that Laithwaite Royal Society or the
Yes.
lectures that he gives, and he's
Yes,
saying they don't
yes,
understand
yes.
spin, and then
Yeah.
another thing is wind. Like we're saying, I'm trying to remember who gives that, like ionic wind, and the whole idea of how electricity might be related to wind is kind of unexplored. It's considered to be mechanical.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Yeah.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
Try to figure out how the jet stream works. It's because of thermal convection, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be electric. When a gyro rotates 90, is precess to the left. That's what B says. Ancient history criticisms I'm finding repeating occurrences of foundation nubs across the world. A heavy weighted wheel on a stick is easier to lift when it's spinning. Yes, of course, yes. I'll get your guys' writings in when I can. Well, Chris, you're in the UK. I just see something here. UK's Ministry of Defense plans to release 50 years of UFO reports sometime in 2020. Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't heard. I think they had a department. There's something like they had some department looking into that UFOs, and then they thought they closed it down or something like 10 or whatever years ago. I guess at different times they put different amounts into that. But yeah, that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder if they actually release it, or someone was complaining about how much money it costs to do freedom of information requests. That like every time you ask for something, you have to pay a fee. So actually, even though stuff is available, it's still kind of expensive to get hold of.
Yes.
I don't know what they'll release, but
I don't understand the freedom of info. Like, if they really wanted to, I mean, wouldn't they just burn that stuff?
Sure.
So, I mean, why would they release it?
I think that surely the hope's got to be that it's someone else's job to burn it later on, and then people just forget about it and forget to burn it, and someone finds it later on. That I think must have happened from time to time.
Huh.
Because they don't know, it might be useful later. Maybe we should burn this, but then people stop working on projects, they get fired or whatever. It's like Windows. Like no one knows how Windows works because there's so many people worked on making it, and then they got fired or whatever. You can't call them up and ask them about the code that they wrote a few years ago. Surely it's the same in any big organization. Like, if someone's not around, how do you even know what they were doing?
Yeah.
I guess I'm sort of joking, because I think it's a funny idea. But yeah.
The Secret Space Force Solar Warden explained the real Starfleet. I always find that interesting.
So is that really a thing now?
That's what Trump says.
So, like, I can go sign up.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I think it exists. Yeah, I mean the military wouldn't stop going into space.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, just as far as like, my son joined the Space Force. I mean, that's a thing now or what?
Oh well, I don't know. No, I wouldn't say it's that big, but I mean Trump made a mention of it, and it got some press. I haven't heard anything else.
Yeah, I don't hear a lot of that. I quit watching the news a long time ago, so
Yeah,
yeah, like I barely knew he got impeached. So
I used to see more of Trump when he was on The Apprentice.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
But I don't see very much of him now. It was fun when he was on The Apprentice because the stakes were low, but now it's no fun watching him. So.
Well, he gets run up one side and down the other, man. Every time he. Somebody told me, I think it was my son told me this. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't doubt it. A group of our politicians or something were going to bring a bunch of people from China that were quarantined with that coronavirus, and they were going to let them go down and stay in Mississippi. And when Trump found out about it, he's like, "Them come here to Mississippi? I don't think so." And he put a stop to it. And he's getting all kinds of hate. They're calling him a racist and all kinds. I mean, come on, man. Who in their right mind would let people with some terrible disease come in their state, their country?
are these American citizens?
No, they're Chinese. They're refugees or something. There's something happened over there. I don't know what it was, but it was bad, whatever it was. And I don't even know what this disease does. I mean, it probably could kill us for all we know. I don't know.
Yeah, from what I understand, like if you're old, like if you got something wrong with you already, other than that, it's just like a bad flu.
I see. Well, 1918, the flu killed 5 times more people than World War I did.
Right.
Yeah, B says he is fighting against the Socialist Marxist Party and their principle. I mean, if those hoity-toity elites hate him, that's a good sign.
I'm not buying it though.
I know. I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. So I just don't.
He both parties work for the same people.
Exactly. They're both talking out of the same. I mean, I used to care and I used to vote and this and that, but now I realize it doesn't matter what party's in there. Nothing changes.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like Obama, like I think Bush, the second Bush, had both houses and could have like passed whatever, and didn't. Obama had both parties, or had both houses, could have passed national health care, didn't go for it. And then Trump had the same situation, could have done whatever, did nothing. Right. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does seem to be that way. As I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I thought he was for real, and then he chose Mike Pence, who's like the biggest establishment putz you can possibly get your hands on. Like this guy garnered so many votes on "I'm not the system, I'm not the system." So everybody, he has a majority of the votes, based on he's not the system. He does not have to cut deals. And he chose an establishment guy for a running mate. That tells me everything I need to know about him.
Well, and Clinton, I mean, he was a popular president. He gave all our jobs away through NAFTA. And to know it for sure, it's not a fluke. The same thing happened in England. That was planned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of international policy that's pretty similar in a lot of countries over the world, and that's got to be a red flag just in itself.
Absolutely.
It's like, why are all these different...
Absolutely. They got the law of the sea in all the countries.
Excuse me. Oh.
Do you ever look at much Buckminster Fuller?
Buckminster Fuller. Now, he was a scientist, right?
Well, he was an architect.
Did he have some good
and then,
ideas?
Yeah, I mean, I could give like a short. He has this everything